Y'all, we need to talk about what Katt Williams just said about Gucci Mane, because this man really went on stage and told everybody that the Gucci we see today ain't the same Gucci from 2013. And before you roll your eyes thinking this is just another wild conspiracy theory, let me tell you something. When Katt Williams speaks, the industry listens. This is the same comedian who called out everything from Diddy's parties to Harvey Weinstein years before anybody else had the courage to speak up. So when he says Gucci Mane got replaced by a clone in 2013, maybe we should at least hear him out. Listen, I know how crazy this sounds, but Katt didn't just throw this out there randomly. According to him, this is about what happens when you know too much in the music industry. And Gucci? Well, Gucci knew a lot. We're talking about a man who was in the middle of Atlanta's hip-hop scene when some of the wildest stuff was going down. Katt Williams brought this up during his latest comedy special, but he wasn't laughing when he said it. He looked straight at the audience and said, "Y'all think it's the same Gucci? Look at pictures from 2013. Look at them now. That ain't the same, man." And you know what's wild? People in that audience weren't laughing either. They were dead silent, because everybody remembers when Gucci came out of prison in 2016, looking like a completely different person. Let me take you back to 2013 real quick, because that's when everything supposedly went down. September 9, 2013, and I need y'all to remember this date. Gucci went on one of the most legendary Twitter rants in hip-hop history. He accused Nicki Minaj of sleeping with him and Wayne. He called out Waka Flocka, his own artist, saying he was disloyal. He exposed industry secrets left and right. The man was burning every bridge he'd ever built. 2 days later, Gucci gets arrested. They hit him with federal gun charges. And just like that, he's gone. Katt Williams claims that the real Gucci never made it out of federal custody. Not the way we think he did. According to Katt, what came out in 2016 was something else entirely. Look at the transformation. When Gucci went in, he was 280 pounds, covered in ice cream face tattoos, lean belly hanging out, always high, always angry. The Gucci that came out? Slim, focused, married, doing yoga, reading books, speaking properly in interviews. His baby mama, Sheena Evans, straight up said on social media that this wasn't the same person. She deleted those posts real quick, but the internet never forgets. Katt Williams said, "They do this more than y'all think. When somebody becomes too much of a liability, but they're too valuable to just get rid of, they find a solution." He mentioned how Dave Chappelle came back different after his Africa trip, how Kanye was never the same after his 2016 breakdown. Now what makes this even crazier is that Gucci himself has joked about the clone theories. In 2016, right after he got out, he posted on Snapchat saying, "I'm not a clone," but the way he said it, the way he laughed, it didn't feel like a denial. It felt like somebody following a script. In 2017, Gucci's ex-girlfriend Masika Kalisha did an interview where she said she tried to kiss him at a party and he acted like he didn't even know her. This is a woman he dated for years. She said his whole energy was different. His mannerisms, even the way he talked. She said, "That's not my Gucci." And it's not just the physical changes. Y'all remember the old Gucci's music? Raw, unfiltered, straight from the trap. The new Gucci? He's making songs with Bruno Mars. He's appearing on Ellen. Can you imagine 2013 Gucci Mane on Ellen? The same Gucci who allegedly buried a man behind a middle school? Katt Williams pointed out something about Gucci's tattoos. He claims if you look closely at old pictures versus new pictures, some of the smaller tattoos don't match up exactly. The placement is slightly off. He said, they can replicate the big obvious ones, but the devil's in the details. People have been analyzing pictures of Gucci standing next to the same people before and after prison, and they swear he's like 2 inches shorter now. There's just one picture with him and Zaytoven from 2012, and another from 2017, standing in the exact same studio, and Gucci definitely looks shorter. Katt Williams brought up the timing. He said 2013 was when a lot of rappers were getting too powerful, knowing too much. That Twitter rant Gucci went on, Katt claims that was him trying to expose everything before they got to him. But they got to him anyway. And what came back wasn't Gucci Mane, it was something they could control. According to Katt, they didn't just grab some random person off the street. These are allegedly people who have been groomed for years, studying the original person's mannerisms, speech patterns, relationships. Remember when Gucci first got out and did his first interview with Malcolm Gladwell, the author, the intellectual? Since when was Gucci Mane doing sit-downs with Malcolm Gladwell? In that interview, Gucci was talking about redemption, personal growth, the power of reading. The old Gucci's only book recommendation would have been the street directory of East Atlanta. His relationship with Keisha Kawar, Katt Williams pointed out how she was supposedly with him before prison, but nobody really knew about her until after he got out. Then suddenly she's everywhere, controlling his image, managing his career. Katt suggested she might be his handler. What's really suspicious is how nobody from Gucci's old crew rocks with him anymore. Waka Flocka, who was like his brother, doesn't mess with him. OJ the Juice Man disappeared. All these people who were tight with Gucci before 2013 suddenly want nothing to do with him. Walker even said in an interview, "That's not my partner anymore." Not, "We're not partners anymore," but "That's not my partner." The wording matters. That's someone saying a person they knew is gone. Think about how many people from Gucci's past have gone completely silent. Frenchie, who was one of his main artists, fell off the face of the earth. Woo the Kid stopped making music entirely. These aren't just associates, these are people who ate with Gucci, who were in the trenches with him. Now they act like they never knew him. That's not how street loyalty works unless something major happened. And let's talk about how the industry immediately embraced this new Gucci. Fashion houses that wouldn't touch the old Gucci with his 10-foot pole suddenly want him at every show. He's on the cover of GQ, doing campaigns with major brands. The same Gucci who used to rob people, who had active murder charges, is now the darling of high fashion. That transformation is too clean. Too perfect. The 1017 label situation tells you everything. The old Gucci built stars from the ground up. He discovered Waka when nobody knew who he was. He put OJ the Juice Man on. He was hands-on, in the studio every day, teaching these young artists the game. The new Gucci? He signs artists through Instagram DMs and manages them through emails. Pooh Shiesty said he learned more about Gucci from YouTube than from actually being around him. That's not the same mentor who created a whole generation of Atlanta rappers. Katt Williams said to pay attention to how the new Gucci never really talks about specific memories from before 2013. Sure, he'll mention events that are public knowledge, but personal stories, inside jokes, detailed memories about recording certain songs, it's all vague or redirected to talking about his transformation. Let's talk about the book Gucci release, the autobiography of Gucci Mane. Katt claims that book was written by committee, designed to create an official narrative that explains away all the changes. Y'all remember when Gucci did the Breakfast Club interview in 2016 and Charlemagne asked him directly about the clone theories? Gucci laughed it off, but Angela Yee looked uncomfortable the entire time, and Charlemagne, who usually pushes and punches, just let it go. People say Gucci's voice is different now. Deeper, clearer, less of that East Atlanta drawl. The explanation is that he stopped smoking and drinking lean, but plenty of rappers quit lean and their voice doesn't completely change. Listen to a 2012 Gucci interview and a 2020 one back to back. It's not just clearer, it's like a different person's vocal cords. Katt Williams also mentioned something about Gucci's hands. He said to look at pictures of Gucci's hands before and after. There's this one signing event from 2011 where you can see Gucci signing autographs, and then another from 2018. The signature is similar, but not identical. He started connecting them to bigger things in the industry. He said Gucci's situation is connected to why Young Thug is really locked up, why Gunna took that plea deal. He said there's a whole system in place, and when you don't play by the rules, you either disappear, die, or get replaced. The old Gucci was beefing with everybody, creating chaos, uncontrollable. The new Gucci, he's squashing beefs, apologizing, making peace. Even with Jeezy, who he allegedly killed a man over, they did a versus battle together, all smiles. The Gucci from 2005 who performed The Truth as a Jeezy diss would never. Katt Williams pointed out how uncomfortable Jeezy looked during that versus. Not nervous, but confused. Like he was looking at Gucci trying to figure out if it was really the same person he'd been beefing with for 15 years. The new Gucci never mentioned certain events that the old Gucci lived through. The murder charge in 2005, the assault cases, he'll acknowledge they happened if asked directly, but he never brings them up himself. Gucci's own mother has been quiet about everything. She used to be all over social media, defending her son. Since 2016, almost nothing. She shows up for major events, but she looks uncomfortable in every picture. Gucci named his son Ice after his ice cream face tattoo, but the old Gucci got that tattoo because he was allegedly high and thought it would be funny. Would someone who got a face tattoo as a joke while high really name their kid after it years later? Katt Williams went into detail about the night Gucci allegedly got switched out. He says it happened during a federal transfer. There's a 6-hour gap that's unaccounted for in official records. 6 hours where nobody knows where Gucci Mane was. He talked about how they tested the new Gucci with small appearances first. Remember those weird Instagram videos from early 2016 where Gucci was just standing there, barely talking, looking confused? Katt says they were testing to see if people would notice. Drake immediately embraced the new Gucci, putting him on songs, bringing him on tour, but Drake never messed with the old Gucci like that. Katt Williams says it's because Drake was told to legitimize the new Gucci. All those features Gucci did right when he got out, hundreds of them. The old Gucci was selective with features, charging crazy prices. The new Gucci was on everything, like they were trying to flood the market. All those charges from before 2013 resolved quickly and quietly. The man who used to show up to court, mean mugging the judge, suddenly taking plea deals and apologizing? What really gets me is how Gucci's old producers talk about him now. Zaytoven says working with him now is different. Mike Will made it said the energy changed. These are people who spent hundreds of hours in the studio with the original Gucci. Other rappers have hinted at this too. Kanye said something about they got Gucci in one of his rants. Boosie talked about how the industry replaces people. Even 50 Cent made a weird comment about how Gucci was being brand new. The timing of Katt Williams bringing this up now is important. He says it's because they're about to do it to someone else. He said pay attention to who goes away for a while and comes back different. What's really disturbing is thinking about what happened to the real Gucci if this is true. Katt Williams didn't want to go into details, but he said, when they replace you, you don't retire to be in an island somewhere. There's this interview Gucci did with Peter Rosenberg where Peter asked about a specific night at Magic City in 2011. Gucci threw $50,000 and got into a fight. It made headlines. Gucci just stares at him and says, I don't really remember the old days like that. How do you forget that? The new Gucci doesn't even go to strip clubs anymore. The old Gucci practically lived in Magic City. Now he's at fashion shows and art galleries. His brother did one interview where he said Gucci came back different, and when pressed on what he meant, he just shook his head. That video got taken down from YouTube within 24 hours. The old Gucci had thousands of songs in the vault, but the music that came out after 2016, a lot of it sounds different from those old leaked tracks. The flow is off, the references don't match up. When old heads from East Atlanta approach him, there's this disconnect. He's polite, but surface level. He doesn't remember the details they bring up. Why would Katt Williams risk everything to say this? He knows how dangerous these accusations are, but he said he's tired of watching it happen. He said, if something happens to me after this, y'all know why. Katt Williams says this is about the entire system, how the industry controls artists, how they eliminate problems. Gucci is just one example of something that happens more than we know. Y'all remember when Offset said he FaceTimed Gucci in prison? But federal inmates aren't supposed to have access to FaceTime. When people pointed this out, Offset quickly backtracked and said he meant regular phone calls. But why lie about something so specific? Unless he was actually FaceTiming someone else entirely, someone pretending to be Gucci. Think about that for a second. And there's more evidence that people ignore. The old Gucci had a very specific way of counting money. This thing he did with his thumb. You can see it in old videos from the trap. The new Gucci counts more money like a bank teller. It's small things like this that give it away. Sheena Evans fought for child support for years. Then suddenly in 2016, she goes quiet, gets a settlement, and never speaks about Gucci again. She moved out of Atlanta. That's not normal behavior for someone who just got paid. Katt Williams concluded by saying we'll never get definitive proof because the people who could provide it are either gone, paid off, or too scared to speak. But he said to trust our instincts. So what do y'all think? Is Katt Williams onto something? Or is this just another wild conspiracy theory? The transformation is too dramatic, too perfect, too convenient for the industry. Whether you believe it or not, you gotta admit, the Gucci Mane we see today is nothing like the Gucci from before 2013. Maybe it's growth, maybe it's recovery, or maybe Katt Williams is telling us the truth about something we're not supposed to know. Drop a comment and let me know what you think. Is this the same Gucci? Or did they really replace him? And if they did it to Gucci, who else have they done it to? If this video got you thinking differently about the industry, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. We're gonna keep diving into these stories that nobody else wants to touch, because sometimes the craziest theories turn out to be the truth, and sometimes comedians like Katt Williams are the only ones brave enough to tell us what's really going on. Until next time, y'all stay woke and question everything.